the sufferings that we go through in life, physical suffering is, of course, unbearable. But there is nothing like emotional suffering. That is why we can tolerate physical suffering. When it comes to the crunch, we will tolerate. But emotional suffering is a different story. And it's very important for us to contemplate on the moral suffering, because very often on Good Friday, unfortunately, we tend to focus so much on the physical suffering that people are not really entering into the passion of Christ, because it's just the physical. Of course, the physical aspect is certainly frightening, but it's the emotional suffering. And Jesus was troubled in spirit. Jesus was experiencing this great betrayal of Judas. What do you think Jesus would have gone through, knowing that someone that he has mentored, someone he was part of the 12 chosen, and that he is the betrayer? This betrayal will lead to his death. And more than the death, it will lead to a failure of his mission, apparent failure. How could we allow this guy to destroy his mission of proclaiming the kingdom? And this is the same kind of feeling that we have, that we experience daily in life. When people whom we trust, people whom we loved, people whom we care for, these are the very people that will betray us. And when we find out, it is extremely difficult to bear. And when we are hurt, we can only think about what is hurting us. But look at Jesus. The beautiful part about Jesus is this. He was betrayed. But his great distress was not that Judas betrayed him. His great distress was that Judas had betrayed himself. Jesus was more concerned about Judas than about himself. Jesus was not looking at his hurt. He was not licking his wounds. Jesus was looking at Judas, and he felt sad for him. Because Judas was actually giving up God's special calling for him. He had a great mission ahead of him. And he was going to destroy the plan of God given to him. And Jesus, therefore, in his sadness, not for himself, I think that's the difference. We are sad for ourselves. Jesus was sad for those who hurt him. And he tried to reach out to Judas, and still Judas remained defiant. It will not only be Judas who would betray him. Even the other 11, oh, we will die for you. They all ran away. And I think the greatness about Jesus is that he was willing to put the common good and the interests of the disciples before himself. So the question is, can we go beyond those people who have betrayed us? Can we go beyond? Instead of looking at ourselves, instead of looking at our pain, can we go beyond to feel with them? Those people who have betrayed us, those who have disappointed us, do we look at our own hurts, or do we look at them and say, poor thing now? We only think of we are being betrayed, but the person who is betraying himself is actually hurting. And that is what Jesus is asking us to do. Because when he was on the cross, Jesus was praying for his enemies. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. That is Jesus. And so the question is, how can we do such a thing? It's very difficult. I think at the end of the day, it's a question of whether we turn to the Lord for strength, whether we look at the Lord and to see how he lived his life, how we can be inspired by his love, by his compassion, even for us who fail him. Jesus knows that we are not worthy. Jesus knows we are sinners. Jesus knows we are tempted. But he's ever ready to continue to strengthen us, because he knows one day we will overcome. Perhaps not today, perhaps not tomorrow, but Jesus never gave up hope on us.